This is Providence Television International, the toast of today's television viewers. Don't be left out.
Good day and welcome to the newspaper analysis for today, the 6th of November 2024. My name is Ugbebo Ikekwa, and once again, like I was saying, you're welcome. I'm in the studio with the CEO, Chairman, Providence Television International, Dr. Emmanuel Egariba. You're welcome to the studio.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thank God it's Wednesday. The weekend is just a couple of days away, so we feel delighted.
Exactly. Well, some news actually for some Nigerians who have quite a liking for the man, Donald Trump. He's won the U.S. elections. What's your take on this?
Well, I'm not surprised. First of all, I don't think that the American people are ready for a female president.
Okay.
Yes, I don't think so. I mean, there's so much male chauvinism in the U.S., whether we like it or not. I mean, it's. I mean, that's their nature, by the way. But the lady tried. She tried. She did very well. She campaigned rigorously. But I think her greatest undoing was even her principal, Joe Biden, who had to step aside for the woman. That created a lot of some very dull moments for her initially, until she had to step up her game, and when Obama and the rest had to come up to her rescue. But she did well. I mean, she's a wonderful woman, a wonderful lady, very intelligent, brilliant, and quite outspoken. And again, look at it, so many things going wrong for Donald Trump. Racist, so they say. Yes. The issue of being uncouth in his language and stuff like that. But the American people, they like the hitman. You know, let's teach the Russians some lesson. Let's teach North Korea some lesson. We are the superpowers, you know, and things like that. And they saw Trump as the only guy who could do that very readily, right? But yes, he's won the election, and I think that he has also created history for himself in some ways. He's the second president to come back, to stage a comeback after over 100 years, for example. So it's a big comeback for him. But I hope that this time around he will manage himself more properly. He's not getting younger.
Exactly.
Okay. And I think he's about the oldest person now to assume the presidency. So he has to toe the line of people around the world who believe that America can do better. But you see, the thing about the American situation is the rest of the world is thinking of something. They are thinking of something else. That's the nature of the American people. Why you think that, oh yes, why not? Why not one Harris? The people are saying, no, it can't be Harris. And it can't be a woman, right? Even though she fought gallantly. I don't think we are ready. I mean, Clinton went through this. Hillary Clinton, she won the popular votes, but she lost the collegiate. So that's exactly the nature of the American. I hope they will change it one of these days. Because it seems to me that it doesn't quite make sense. You win the popular vote and then you lose at whatever. So it happened to Hillary.
Exactly.
Yes, she could just have been president, the first woman president of the United States. So, but she lost. All right. So we are hoping that there will be a good relationship between Trump and developing countries. Yes, the Democrats are better at that. Republicans, you know, they have warheads.
Exactly.
Starting from Reagan and the rest, you know, they like wars. They like war situations. Okay, they want to nudge. They want to push aside everybody. They want to assert the authority of the United States. And the world is moving towards a different direction, by the way. You know, so America is no longer the policeman of the world. They should realize that. So it's a new beginning from the United States. The country has been divided by so many factors. So this is a time to reunite the country and to ensure that immigrants also gain a lot. I'm not too sure that immigrants will have a good song to sing about Donald Trump. And that's because they consider him as a racist, right? So Nigerians should not just start clapping, because you could have a different policy altogether.
Okay. Well, I know that definitely quite a great analysis coming from Dr. Emmanuel Egariba, but that is why we are the game changer, Providence Television International. We'll keep you updated on issues as regards the elections, and he's having one. We'll keep you updated in our subsequent news bulletins. Well, on this note, I want to gladly inform you that people are actually watching Providence Television International. Just from some of the messages that we've gotten in our mailbox, it's something that I'll definitely say that by God's grace, we are actually becoming and living strongly to that slogan of ours, the game changer. We'll go straight to our mailbox to see some comments from some of our viewers. And coming from Atlanta, Georgia, USA, John Idemudia said, I wish to thank the management and staff of Providence Television International for all the beautiful programs they show. In particular, I thank Dr. Emmanuel Egariba for the interview he did with Pa Augustine Bazoaye, the great centenarian. The interview was top-notch and vintage. Emmanuel Egariba, more grace. You definitely have something to say to that.
Well, I'm humbled by it. I'm humbled. I get very many responses like this on a very regular basis. So it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel good that one's dream has come through eventually. That particular interview went viral, really. It went viral with the old man. And that's why a couple of days ago, he called me, said, Emmanuel, my son, please come. I want you to meet some of the people who watched the interview. I said, Daddy, I'll be in the studio. I said, no, just come immediately. I had to obey. So I went there. I wish you could show that picture, really. I went there, and a lot of people came to visit him. That was prior the celebration. And, that was the picture over there. And it was just a lovely, lovely picture. Many people came, and they left me there. I would say, I want to go. The old man would say, no, Emmanuel, sit down. And what really got me going was that he offered me some drinks. I had just a bottle. He said, no, you must have one for the road. I said, no, but Daddy, I'm still on duty. He said, no, you must be with me. I thought I was going to spend just about 30 minutes. I spent almost 3 hours. And I enjoyed his company. And somebody came and said, please, you must take out this picture in readiness for the celebration which took place yesterday, by the way. So a great man. And that interview, as I said, went viral. I was in church yesterday. I was also at the reception. And a lot of people came around. I was really humbled, really humbled. But that was under the auspices of the program, Products of Edu College. Yes. He opened it, actually. It was a debut program. And it was well thought out because he had to start it as a centenarian. He's the oldest living old boy of Edu College. We had another one, Dr. Baze, that also went crazy. So, and a lot of my juniors, Edu College, they thanked us, not me. I thanked the station, a lot of my seniors, classmates. They said all kinds of beautiful things. And then, when you are extolled like that, you feel good. And you want to do more. But actually, for an occasion such as this, I want to thank a lot of people, particularly my classmates, wonderful guys, wonderful guys, the 70-74 set. Virtually all of them, but there are some who have been very consistent in their eulogies, and things like that. Lawrence Idiare, I hope they are watching now. Cliff Onobun, Thompson Ohaba is in the U.S. Peter Osanyede is here in Nigeria. Bishop Great Romo Sele, great clergyman, is in Abuja. Patrick Iroro, accountant, is in Abuja. Usagi Abasu is in the U.S. Egedi Ahamafo, a journal. Now, I call him Energy. Joe Dwebo is here with us in Benin. Judah Mosage is here. Mike Dogu is in Nigeria. Paul Asikia, one of my best friends. We used to rendezvous together in those days. Great guy, Paul. Paul Iria, yes, is another great guy. Peter Imarubawo, wonderful engineer. Razak Belosage, who was in the House of Reps. It's a ranking House of Reps member. Great guy, has a good head on his shoulders. Samson Edo is one of them. Eric Agedo is in the U.S. Rafi Duoyi is in Great Britain. Andy Ide is here. Fosa Agbede is in Lagos. Ginger Owens. Oh, wait, that's my buddy. Anytime he's lonely for the weekend, he will just say, Emmanuel, please come over. And we'll go somewhere. So thank you very much, Ginger. Paul Iria, yes, great gentleman. Richie. That's what I call him. It's in the United States. So I want to thank them all, particularly because Edo College, products of Edo College came on board. Though that gave them a lot of enthusiasm, to say a lot of good things about us. So I want to thank them. I want to thank my staff. I mean, great guys like you. You're doing very well.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and I want to say that the sky is just the beginning of our limit.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so we'll move on to the next message from our mailbox. Peter Osaobe from Toronto, Canada. You are truly the game changer. I particularly like your newspaper analysis and morning drive interviews. I can't do without them. Kudos.
Well, Peter, we must thank you all the way from Toronto. We have a lot of followers. I don't know why, really. We have a lot of followers from Canada.
Yes.
He's just one of them. And I believe that he has just poured out his heart, for instance. Exactly. When you hear comments such as this, you are enthused to do more. We've only been on transmission for less than 3 months.
Yes.
And the following has been wonderful.
Exactly.
It's been very wonderful.
Exactly.
So I must thank you, Peter. Please keep writing in.
And then we'll move to the next message. Henrenta Sobu from Abuja. Providence Television is reaching greater heights. In particular, I like and I commend Dr. Emmanuel Igariva for the program with Professor Egegba on infertility. We're expecting more of such. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Henrietta. I know it will come from a woman anyway, because that had to do with infertility. Oh, by the way, Professor Egegba was here, truly.
Exactly.
Was here, I think, about 2-3 weeks ago. And he talked about infertility in women. But incidentally, he also said, for people who watch the program, he also said that we have more of the problems from even the men.
From even the men, exactly.
Yes, he said so very readily. And I guess we can go on and on to talk about some of the things he said. But the important thing really is that he said he will come back.
Exactly.
Yes, he will come back to talk about other issues that agitate the minds of some of our viewers.
Yeah.
I spoke to him some time ago and he said, yes, why not? He's going to talk about something. Do I even let the cat out of the bag now?
No need. Let's keep them waiting.
Let's keep them waiting, because he said he will give us something that will really, more interesting than infertility.
Exactly.
So I'll keep that to my chest.
Yes.
Believing that we'll just, I'm sure in the next few days, Professor Egegba will be here to talk about that.
All right, we'll go to the next message. And the next message from our mailbox is James, coming from James Umukoro from Warri, Delta State. He says, I watch Providence Television International regularly. I pray that God Almighty will give you the energy to do more.
Well, let me say amen to that, first of all. I think it's a very wonderful prayer. The energy, the vigor, the vitality to do more. The mental power. That's very important for a young organization such as this. That's why I'm here almost 247, for instance, because we have to nurture. In the process, I can't have my own private time any longer. Okay, it is difficult, and a lot of my social friends are complaining, but usually they tell me that, oh no, we can understand. It's a young organization, so you must put all energies into it. So James, we thank you very much, and thank you for your prayers as well.
And still on the messages from our mailbox, Reverend Father Oseni Ugunu, Rome, Italy. I want to congratulate Dr. Emmanuel Egariva for the program, The Teachings of the Catholic Church. The title of the program is audacious, timely, necessary, and useful. I wish you the Lord's unfailing providence and more of God's abundant blessings.
This actually almost swept me off my feet because I'd never really known Reverend Father Ogunu.
Yes.
But guess what? He watched the program and he got my telephone number from the guest, Monsignor Paul Leno, who featured here on the teachings of the Catholic Church. So he just sent something from Rome. He's in Rome, he's in the Vatican, okay? Exactly. So, and we got along very well. We spoke at length, we said a lot of things, and he also prayed for me. He was very, very enthusiastic, and he said, program will have a long mileage. That it's something that viewers, particularly Catholics, you always look up to. Oh, no, you remember this. I had that program on some stations in Benin for about 5 years.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, but we had to grapple with the issue of sponsorship. That's why we had to rest it. But today it's here. It's here on our station. Okay. Yeah. And again, because I'm a Catholic, there's a vested interest in that. Exactly. So, but I want to thank Father Ogunu, great guy, brilliant upstairs, highly cerebral. And I asked him a question. Are you by any chance related to one Professor Michael Ogunu? Okay. And he said, yes, that's my elder brother. And guess what? Professor Ogunu taught us English at Edo College. So I just remembered, I said, yes, that's him. A chip of the old block. So, Father, I thank you very much. Keep praying for us and keep writing in. He even suggested that very soon we should have a website. I've always thought of that. But he also brought it on. Yes, why not? So we can connect properly with international bodies. So thank you very much. That's it.
All right, we'll move to the next message. Oh, well, forgive me, I could go on and on.
Actually, we had to break them.
We had to break them.
Because there will be too many. But on a regular basis, we'll bring them in just to know what people are saying.
That's true.
You know, the strong points from the conversations, and that will be to the advantage of the viewers.
Exactly.
To us, yes.
Well, moving now straight to the newspaper analysis. We'll be starting with the Punch newspapers, where we have on the front page, nationwide blackout as grid suffers 10th collapse in 2024, and generation, that is power generation, drops to 0 megawatts. We'll tie this story to the New Telegraph, and on the front page of the New Telegraph newspapers, Nigeria plunged into darkness again as national grid collapses 4th time within a month.
Is Nigeria in darkness? I think it's worse than that. Well, when you say, I mean, it's a metaphor, really. I mean, when you say Nigeria is in darkness, we should say it the way it is. Yes, Nigeria is in total darkness, not just because of NEPA. Yes, but look around. What do we see in this country? This is not the country people of my generation were born into. I made an analogy the other day that, look, when we were growing up, when there was a power outage, people were not sad. They will only tell, oh, thank God, NEPA has taken their light, in quotes, and because maybe everywhere was hot, all right? And then when they bring it back, nothing. We're used to light.
Yes.
People are not used to darkness. That is the tragedy of our situation in this country. People are getting used to darkness, right? Now, what's the average? 4 times in a month. That's the average of once every week.
Every week. Yes.
And TCN is saying that, look, their problem is, and I mentioned this incidentally, I mentioned this some time ago, I think about a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned it that, look, the facilities we have that NEPA is using, they are obsolete.
Yes.
Totally obsolete. How can you cannot proceed from that kind of thing? It is impossible. I told you, I mean, people can just find out. Go to the transmission station on Sapler. That's a huge one. It controls almost half of this country. If you go there, you will see on labels on some of the equipment, ECN, Electricity Corporation of Nigeria, which was in existence before I was born. So you can imagine what it is. And I'm not surprised. And in any case, is it jinxed? I've often asked that question on this program. Is it jinxed? When you say something is jinxed, it means that you cannot explain it. I mean, it just happens somehow. But it shouldn't be jinxed. Now, what do you call them? Republic of Benin.
Yes.
They have power 247. Ghana, next door neighbor here. Power 247. I'm not even talking of Angola and the other countries. I'm not even talking of Morocco and the rest.
No.
Those are European countries. South Africa, the same thing. What is the solution? 2 things we can do. We can build industries that will produce panels, solar panels. That will even give jobs to these young people. They will learn the trade. Because we cannot continue to depend on NEPA. In fact, the more we depend on NEPA, the more it fails us.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yes.
That's number 1. Number 2, government must make money available so that we can go nuclear. It's not impossible. People are nuclear. They've gone nuclear. And what does it take? The main thing there in nuclear reactors is uranium. And I understand we have it in this country. So what is our problem? We can't continue. And the irony of it really is not irony, it's even a tragedy. Our government will keep telling us that, oh no, we are developing. Big lie. You cannot develop without electricity. So who are you deceiving? It's not possible because it's at the base. Electricity supply is at the base of industrial development. Most countries in Europe, if there's a power outage for 1 minute, they're in trouble. Not even talking of days. For 1 minute, they're in trouble because everything is there. Electricity is at the base of development. How can you can't talk about it? Look at MAN now, they are crying every day. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. They are crying because for how long would they depend on diesel? And I also mentioned some time ago, for those who care to listen, that it is time for our universities to do research, thorough research, particularly our faculties of engineering, electrical, electronics, engineering, and departments of physics. This is science-based anyway. Let them we have a lot of professors in this country who are wasting away. Let us encourage them, empower them, so that they can do research into how universities can even generate powers on their own. Our universities, they can. I know what I'm talking about. They can generate. After all, some universities generate water supply from little streams. They just dam it and it supplies water. The same thing can happen. Let them do research into how we can be getting power on the university. The reason being that when you take the chunk of all the universities away from our grid, that reduces the burden on the system. Right? And they can do it. These things are doable. What is the problem with this country, for God's sake? I keep asking myself. Please, can we go to other areas?
Well, another area that I think is going to be of quite some concern to you, front page, Vanguard Newspapers, federal government reverses 18-year admission benchmark in tertiary institutions.
Did we not talk about it?
Exactly.
We talked about it on this program, I think about 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
We talked about that. It just doesn't make sense. Our policymakers, honestly, I begin to. And what is the problem with our policymakers? That's a policy somersault, if you care to know. Yes. Because it was there, black and white. Now they are reversed because there was public outcry. Must you wait for outrage to be able to reverse some of these policies? Okay, you shouldn't. Our policies are not well thought out. That is the problem. 18 years. Yeah. 18 years is quite an age. Yes, my last son will be the GM of this station. He finished secondary school at the age of 20. He entered at the age of 16. Finished at the age of 20. Big, versatile. Loaded upstairs. If I had delayed him, that would have been a period wasted. Yes. In China, people go into university at the age of 15, so that 19, 20, they are out. And they begin now to contribute to national development. That's why China is where it is today. You are waiting for 18 years. As if the age of Methuselah has to do with wisdom or intelligence. No, it doesn't. I don't know what the excuses were, but they are so puerile and totally inconsistent with reason.
Exactly.
Totally.
I think that so many people would actually commending us because you really did flog that issue.
I did. And our station is viewed all over the world. Exactly. For instance, yes. Somebody somewhere must have. You never can tell. That's the world of television for you. Somebody somewhere might just have listened, and it's the truth. Even though some editorials, in fact, it was so condemned by Vanguard and the Guardian sometime. Yes. So, but that's what it is. 18 years. 18 years is an adult, so to speak. They allow 18 years to vote. To vote. You don't allow 18 years to get into the university. Look at the disparity. You allow them to vote. Is it not?
Exactly.
Good. And yet, 18-year-olds will vote, and these same 18 years will not allow them to go into the university, and they have everything upstairs. Everything. Don't they see Nigerians at the age of 21, 22 doing wonders in America, in England, and all of that? Yes.
Well,
but I thank God for the policy reversal.
Yes.
Yes, I thank God for that. So from now on, we put that as a question of history.
Exactly. And that brings us to the front page of the Daily Independent. The Daily Independent newspaper, end bad governance protests. Go and be responsible citizens. Tinubu tells 119 pardoned suspects. Urges Kano governments to anchor their rehabilitation and reintegration. And governors are saying that their release demonstrates Tinubu's compassion for the masses?
Our governors, they are some of the most terrible problems we have in this country. They just play to the gallery. In any case, the presidency is saying that, look, go and sin no more. That's what they are saying.
Yes.
Okay. Have they asked what drove them to the streets? The law of cause and effect must be very prevalent here. Cause and effect. They went into the streets. Why? Because they were hungry. And hunger has no boundaries, by the way. Hunger has no boundaries. Those young people went to the street. The suffering was getting unbearable. That is what the federal government should address very, very strongly. Once they address it, I've often said it, once government is on top of its game, there will be no protest. Exactly. Yes, there will be no work stoppages. Nothing. If government is doing it right, there will be no work stoppages. Everybody will live in peace and happiness. But when you have hiccups and glitches, to use their term again, when you have glitches along the way, that's what happens. People will go to the street. And in any case, they have said that constitutionally, the people have a right to protest.
Okay.
In other words, maybe tomorrow there's more hunger. The people will go out again. Yes.
And they might end up arresting more
And
people.
I like what Falana said. He said a couple of days ago by the SAN. He said, look, there must be compensation. Now that we know that those young kids were put in jail for no reason, there should be compensation for them. And government, I think, should look seriously into that. Yes.
All right. Daily Times newspaper, front page. Sokoto government raises alarm over infiltration of new terror group, Lakurawas. Sect currently operational in 5 local government areas.
What does that tell us?
Still the issue of insecurity.
It tells us that we are not out of the woods at all. This is a new group. Maybe a splinter group from Boko Haram.
Yes.
Okay? Maybe a splinter group, and it could be more dangerous. Yes. Because actually they get more dangerous progressively. Right? That is what has been happening in the Sahel. And these people are moving downwards. They are infiltrating our boundaries. Our boundaries are very porous. I've said that. Stretching over 1,000 kilometers, for instance, particularly in the north. They are very porous. And that's Sokoto State. Sokoto State is one of the largest states in this country. And we are told now that 5 local government areas have been taken over.
Yes.
So what happens in the next few weeks, the next few months? And yet, billions are pumped into security on a yearly basis. Very soon now we'll be talking about another budget. We're in November. We run from January to December. In January now we'll be talking about another set of billions for this. So where do we go from there?
Well, serious question. Vanguard newspapers, front page. Protesters storm National Assembly over hardship.
That's protesters again. National Assembly. Truly, I think that should be the starting point. Yes, National Assembly. The people are not representing Nigerians well. They are not, because they are living in opulence, flamboyant lifestyle, forgetting they are representatives of the people. When the people are hungry, you should know. Yes, you should share in their pains. You should share, and then you move it on to the presidency. They are not cocooned. They are not as cocooned as the people in the presidency are, because they should meet regularly, I guess, with their constituents. They should meet because they are direct representatives of the people. When the people are hungry, they should be the first to know that there is fire on the mountain. Don't wait for them to even protest. You should tell them that, Mr. President, our people are hungry. But they don't do that. Rather, they live a flamboyant lifestyle. And they tell us that we'll allow you to breathe. The people are saying, we want you to make us breathe. No, don't worry. Don't worry for today. Tomorrow we'll make you breathe. That's what they're saying. Which is tragic. Quite tragic. So it's a trending story. We'll follow it up. Let's see what happens from tomorrow.
All right. Well, on this note, I want to say quite another interesting session with Dr. Emmanuel Egariba on the newspaper analysis for today, 6th November 2024. So, I guess you must have a parting shot.
Well, not really. The parting shot is that people should just be more careful. We're in the penultimate month of the year, this November.
Exactly.
Very soon, whether we can buy rice or not, it's not the issue. But people should just drive carefully. I'm an advocate of safe driving on our roads. Look, whether we like it or not, when we are close to the Yuletide, people will drink.
Yes.
That's the lot of Nigerians. They will drink. If they don't have money, they will go and borrow money to drink because it's the Yuletide season. But they must drive carefully to avoid unwarranted deaths on our roads. That's my petition.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Well, for you, our viewers out there, once again, serious, very, very wonderful. Big thank you from the station. Keep up the good work. Inform your friends, family, associates. Just inform them of Providence Television International. And it is so simple to get to us. Simply go to YouTube and just type in Providence Television International. And like my boss would always say, you're good to go.